what a performance by David Benavidez, getting the 6th round TKO against Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade in a fight that says, Canelo, I'm next. I don't care what your plans are, I'm next. A dominant finish from David Benavidez. He cements himself as the #1 contender at 168 to go against Canelo, separating himself from the field, saying, yeah, I'm that guy. We knew he was on a mission, and tonight he took care of business against a very slick boxer, a tough boxer in Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, who at the start, like I had predicted, put up a good fight, but ultimately the power of Benavidez and the ability to make quick adjustments in the fight proved to be too much as Benavidez got the win. This is the Never Drop Podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment. What did you think about this fight? Let me know what your thoughts were. Make sure you follow wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Make sure you follow me, the Never Drop Podcast. But back to the fight, man. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, again proves why he is a force to be reckoned with in not only the 168 division, but boxing in general. Going up against Boo Boo, right? Demetrius Andrade. We all knew Boo Boo's a good fighter, a good boxer. We knew that he was going to pose a couple issues, maybe not issues exactly, but he was going to pose things for Benavidez that Benavidez was going to have to adjust. Benavidez wasn't going to come in there with a singular game plan and just beat up on Boo Boo. Boo Boo's too good of a boxer for that to happen. And for the first 3 rounds, 2.5 to 3 rounds, we saw that. As I predicted in my preview of the fight, I said this would go somewhat similar to the Caleb Plant fight, as where Caleb had success boxing in the early rounds, Benavidez turned up, made adjustments, and was able to dominate the second half of the fight. I believed a similar thing was going to happen in this fight, which was the case, but it was expedited. It happened a lot quicker than I thought. See, Boo Boo was boxing really well that first and second round, and halfway through that third round, he was showing people, okay, this is why people didn't want to fight Boo Boo. Hitting with body shots. He was throwing some combinations. And I was like, Benavidez usually is the one throwing these level of combinations. Maybe Boo Boo has done something. He was being aggressive. He was going at him. He was boxing. He was hitting, making Benavidez miss, and moving. It was like, okay, all of this is great, but can he do it for 12 rounds? Because that's what he was going to have to do to win this fight. Because even when he hit Benavidez flush, you didn't see Benavidez be taken aback by the power. And that might just be the old age. Again, Boo Boo's 35 years old, coming up, started at 154 in his career, coming up to 168. This is only his second fight at 168, right? The power wasn't getting Benavidez, and I think he knew that. And late in that third round, that's where the change came. You could tell Benavidez said, oh, okay, I got a rhythm now. I know what I'm doing. He was able, I think Boo Boo won that third round, but you figured, okay, the tide's turned in this fight. Benavidez knows what he's doing. Fourth round, Benavidez came out and he was dominant. Dominant throughout the whole round and until the final seconds in which he knocked down Andrade with a really nice right hand. And for the rest of the fight, Boo Boo was just trying to survive. It went 2 more rounds. Honestly, from Boo Boo's sake, I wanted it to be stopped. After the 5th round, it looked like, man, it was going to get rough. Credit to Boo Boo. He threw some nice shots. He hit Benavidez, and I believe in the 6th round, threw a nice combination, but it was too much. He didn't have anything on his punches. Benavidez was walking straight through him, and you knew the time was coming. Benavidez, throughout the entire night, was going to the body, was having a nice jab, and of course, we know his power, what his power can do. It was only a matter of time before that power came through, and Benavidez does a great job making adjustments, and this is why I had predicted Benavidez to win in a fashion similar to what he did tonight, because I saw in the Plant fight him make adjustments to a boxer. Boo Boo was boxing really well those first 3 rounds. Benavidez said, okay, this is what you're doing. I'm going to counter it and now move my game plan to combat what you're doing. And he did it perfectly, executed it perfectly. And the fact David Benavidez can make those adjustments is another reason I think he can give Canelo Alvarez trouble. We all know this was the fight to really set up who gets Canelo next. Both fighters want Canelo. It'll be up to Canelo to see if he fights Benavidez now that Benavidez has won. But the entire boxing community is calling for that Benavidez versus Canelo fight. That's a super mega fight. Is that a passing of the torch? Maybe. We'll have a long way to go before that fight is finalized or anything about it. But Benavidez has made it clear he wants Canelo next. And that fight would be the biggest fight of the year. Easily. I want to give props to Boo Boo, man. I hadn't seen Boo Boo fight too many times before this. He gained a fan. The way he carried himself through all the press conferences, the press tours, the way he was respectful. I really appreciated that. And of course, he's a really good boxer. He met his match tonight in Benavidez, and we know how great Benavidez is. But Boo Boo, man, he showed some really great boxing skills. And I talked about how he kind of fights like he's at a lighter weight. The way he moves around, makes guys miss. There was one time where he threw I believe a 1-2 maybe, and then ducked under a punch from Benavidez and was on the total other side of him in a split second. And I was like, geez, man, he has some great boxing skills. It's a shame that this was his first big fight, and him being 35 years old. I really hope he gets some big opportunities coming up. I want to talk about the co-main real quick. Jermall Charlo versus Jose Benavidez Jr. A return fight for Charlo, and he looked really good. Didn't get the knockout. That was the only disappointing part of the fight. But for being out 2.5 years, it did not look like he was out that long. He looked really, really good in that fight. And I'm interested to see what Maul Charlo does next. I think that Caleb Plant fight is the fight to make for both of them. After the beef they have there, I think that's the fight. But a really good performance for Jermall Charlo. But at the end of the night, it was David Benavidez's night. A great performance to put the boxing world on notice. I'm that guy. I'm the guy that needs to be fighting Canelo and can beat Canelo. Again, I think that'll be the biggest fight in boxing if it happens in 2024. Benavidez was able to adjust and just apply pressure and walk down Boo Boo in that fight tonight and proved, again, at 168, there's potentially only one man that can stand there and fight with him. And that's an all-time great in Canelo in a fight that will be incredible. Again, big props to David Benavidez doing what he had to do. He was on a mission, completed that mission. He's got Canelo in his sights. That's what's next for him. For Boo Boo, I really hope he has some big opportunities come to him next. I'll be watching. He gained a fan throughout this whole press, this whole fight, even though he lost by TKO in the 6th. I look forward to what Boo Boo's going to do at 168. Again, it's only his second fight at 168. I think Boo Boo still can do some big things in boxing. Even being 35, he has those type of skills. So I'm looking forward to what Boo Boo has coming up next. But it was David Benavidez's night, getting the 6th round TKO to set up a mega fight against Canelo potentially in 2024. This has been the Never Drop Podcast. I appreciate you guys listening. Comment below. What did you think about this fight? Who do you think would win a David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez fight? I want to see your comments in the comment section. Like this video, subscribe to the Never Drop Podcast for all your boxing info. I got you. It's been a great year. I got you for the rest of the year and 2024. Make sure you follow me wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts. Follow the Never Drop Podcast. I appreciate you. A big night for David Benavidez as he gets another great win to add to his resume. This has been the Never Drop Podcast. That's all I got for you. Peace. I'm out.